Hey traders, another video on earnings, 1026. They reported earnings after hours, a whole bunch. I did a few videos other than this. This one is for Visa, AMD, and HOOD. So Visa beat the estimates, and they actually increased business to last year by a big margin, just like Google. And just like Google, guess what? No, they didn't rally. They fell. So once more, great results don't necessarily translate into rally. The expectations, what people expect, not even the estimates, what you, me, and your friend and my friend expect, not the estimates, the expectations. Okay, back to Visa. So let me show you what happened overnight, and let's see if we can overlay that information here and make sense of it. So the point is, how can I trade this tomorrow and going forward? All right, so today's high, these dark days, these are days, and the light is overnight. So this is right now. This is today before the market closed. So it spiked. I think as soon as on the headline it spiked to 235 and then quickly fell apart. They probably let the CFO say something. That's what usually freaks people out. Okay, fell to 222.22. And now it's settling at 225 and change. So let's see if we can find significant lines on the chart for it. It spiked to 235. So it closed at 232. It showed breakout potential. Check it out. It showed breakout potential. Somebody asked me in the chat room, what do you think? I said, you know what? It looks like a breakout, but I'd be worried about this number first, 238. And they failed into it. Overnight, the jubilation didn't even get there. They stopped at 235. So 235 is significant from the day before that and this level right there. So that all makes sense. So now the first line, 235 is a problem and a problem at 238 above it. You see those two action points. 235 is a problem and 238 is definitely a problem. So I'll put 38. So those are in my notes tomorrow. When the stock opens, that's my upper limit. And what's my lower limit? 222.2. Where's that? 222.2. Right here somewhere. So basically the base they just established. They rejected this base. They rejected this base. So 222.2 is the low end of things. All right. So if they lose 222.2, their next stop will be 217, 218. Okay. So that's the range. 222.2 to 238. 235 actually, then 238. So if they breach 235, I would look at 238, maybe a possible problem. If they lose 222, they might get to 218. So now I have a plan in mind. So now I know what not to do where. So if the stock opens and then it rallies into 232, I should get out and thank the stars. It got me the chance if I took the trade as a trade. Okay. I don't start buying calls until they clear at least 235 if I wanted to get long after the fact, and knowing that I could have to trip up at 238. Okay, so this is an important spot. I don't get exuberant into it. I wait for them to clear it before I start to be a sheeple. Okay, and if it opens here and it falls to 222, that's not where I start panicking. I say, you know what, that was the overnight low. Let's see what happens here. And if it falls below it, then I say, okay, they're going to 217, 218. So now I know what not to do also. I don't buy calls going, I don't buy puts into it. If I wanted to short it, I would wait until it falls below it. If I'm long, I don't panic the first time it touches that. I may get relief pop. Okay, so that's the plan there. So let's go into AMD. AMD also crushed everything. I don't remember the numbers. Trust me, they crushed everything. So as they always do, Lisa Su is an unbelievable CEO. She turned around that company. Not so much action after hours. Solid floor. Okay. So it's down a little bit, but it had a spike to 120, whatever, 5, eyeballing it, which was lower than this, the high of the day. So the high of the day was super strong, and they couldn't match it after hours. So that's a concern. So I would start worrying from 125 on up. Resistance. That's tomorrow morning. I would say I need to hold the overnight low, else if they lose it, that's support, but very important to hold. If they lose it, they're going to here. What is here? This point from 2 days ago. And look at 2 days ago's top breakout. So this level has been in play for a while. So whatever that low is, the overnight low needs to hold. Otherwise, that's the trigger to short it for a trade. Or if I'm long, I don't get out here. I get out below here. Say, okay, they tried, they're not going to bounce. But I may get a bounce here if it opens and falls tomorrow. Okay? If it rallies into 125, I don't get long here. In fact, 123.6 is going to be a problem, a point of contention. I don't get long into 125. I get long maybe when they beat 125.5. This is a concern right there. So whatever that number is. So that's the plan for AMD. So now comes HOOD. I had so much hope for HOOD as a company, but they stunk up the joint. They reported a bad report. So they gave us fundamental reasons to worry. And I think they guided. So it was a worst kind of report ever from an investment perspective. They didn't beat on anything, and they guided lower going forward. Their metric went down, the crypto use went down, blah, 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 blah. So the talking heads will have plenty of bearish stuff to say. If it rallies in the face of this, that's a long I would hold for a long time, because that's as bad as it gets from a headline perspective. The low was 35.6. It went down to here. So it basically went back to base. So far, they want to hold 35.6. But good Lord, they better do it. Otherwise, if it makes a new low, then we don't know where the low is going to be. So I am long HOOD. I will have losses tomorrow. It was a small bet, and it was long term. So I'm not doing anything with it tomorrow. I want to see how it behaves. So do I want to get long HOOD? Well, they didn't give me any reason. If I weren't long, they didn't give me any reason. All I know is the platform has, I forget, 30 million users, maybe 25 now. I'm not sure. Find out how many. It's a lot of users. So they're going to make money somewhere, somehow. So it is an iffy proposition because the management says so. Fundamentally speaking, there's nothing exciting about it. But you know what? Reddit is crazy, so I don't know what they'll do. This is one of them. This is the playground, supposedly. So at least that's the perception. I wouldn't. If I wanted to get long it'll be a long shot. Speculative bet. What does that mean? It means I decide, okay, I'm going to risk X dollars, and that's it. I don't average down. I don't try to save it. If it goes against me, I'll set a stop loss level. If I lose X% of that, and I'm out. So that would be a speculative bet. That's it. Nick signing out.